the 7th chapter, verse number 1 down through verse 7. It's a beautiful thing to hear pages being turned in the house of God. I know you guys have tablets and phones, but I am grateful to God for people who still believe in a page being turned. Amen. Study notes, red letters, and commentary. Might be a day and time that people don't even understand red letters. You know, red letter Bible was a big deal. You know what I mean? So, hey, we can get off of that. So I'm on the millennial. Stay down, download that app. Judges 7:1-7. Once you found it, say amen. We're going to teach. We're going to teach this month. I'm going to try my best to teach. I love to preach the word of God. I'm going to try my best to teach. If I do get excited and start yelling and anything like that, just yell back at me so we'll be all yelling together. Amen. And Jerubbaal. Once you found it, say amen. Everybody found it. Then Jerubbaal, who is Gideon, and all the people that were with him, rose up early and pitched beside the well of Hathaway, so that the host of the Midianites, which were on the north side of them, somebody say north side. North side. The host of the Midianites were on the north side of them, by the hill of Moreh in the valley. And the Lord said to Gideon, the people that are with thee are too many for me to give you the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel, listen, vaunt themselves against me, saying, my own hand have saved me. Now therefore go to proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, whosoever is fearful and afraid, let him return and depart early from Mount Gilead. And their return of the people, listen, 22,000. And there remained 10,000. 22,000, and there remained 10,000. And the Lord said unto Gideon, the people are yet too many. Bring them down upon the water, and I will try them for thee there. And it shall be that of whom I say unto thee, this shall go with thee, the same shall go with thee, and whomsoever I say unto thee, this shall not go with thee, the same shall not go. So he brought down the people into the water, and the Lord said unto Gideon, every one that lappeth of the water with his tongue, as a dog lappeth, he shalt thou set by himself. Likewise, everyone that boweth down upon his knees to drink, and the number of them that lapped, putting their hand to their mouth, were 300 men. But all the rest of the people bowed down upon their knees to drink water. Verse 7 says, and the Lord said unto Gideon, by the 300 men that lapped will I save you, and deliver the Midianites unto thine hand, and let all the other people go, every man unto his place. Somebody say, I'm all in. I'm all in. Say it again, I'm all in. I'm all in. The scripture is very pivotal to understand a level of commitment. And that's what we're going to talk about here this morning. Your commitment level to God, and as well, heaven's commitment towards you. Because I think in Christ, as sons and daughters of God, we feel like we do at times have to prove and show our commitment to God, to prove and show our commitment to people. But heaven has a policy, it has a way, it has procedures to show his commitment towards you. And it does that through the process of elimination. The process of elimination. That's not an easy process for us in this day and time. We pride ourselves on having followers and friends, supporters, and people that, like us on Facebook, people that, share our posts. Those are certain levels of commitment, and they pledge their allegiance to our vision of what we have to say. But I think it gives us a false sense of security as well, friendship, because somebody follows you, or just because somebody supports you or likes a status, does not mean that they're bought into your life or bought into your process. Back in the day when I was coming along, there was a way that you had to prove that. You had to prove that through trust transactions. I like to call them trust transactions because you had to prove your allegiance or your support to somebody verbally or face to face. It was not just by way of sending a friend request or by an email or a text. You had to articulate your level of commitment to a person. And with that certain level of articulation, you knew if this person was with you or not. And in other ways, that allegiances were pledged and form was that of when you went through tough times or difficult times. Because usually during tough times and difficult times, you would also see who's supporting you, who's committed to you, who's there for you. And then other times, I mean, just a tangible, easy time to really evaluate who's supporting you and who loves you is when you had to move. I mean, when you had to move and you sent out a request for people to help you, like, you know, come on, I got this furniture, I need to move. Everybody got sick all of a sudden. The folks didn't call you back, you know, you didn't get a text back or anything like that. So depending on the level of commitment that this person had for you, it was going to determine their involvement with what you had going on. Y'all following me this morning? So the extent of what you had going on would kind of deter whether I'm going to be there for you. If you just some surface level stuff going on and we can just kind of put a band-aid on it, that's one thing. You know, how we say in church, I'm praying for you. And if you don't get well in a day or two, you know, those prayers stop. They desist. You got something that lasts a week or a month or a season, we just turn that back over to God. I don't want to interfere with what God is doing in your life right now, so we just going to push you back over to Him. But there has to be a level of commitment that you have to a thing that don't involve you.
Amen.
That's how you really determine if somebody's for you or not. When your end result doesn't have their name on it and they're still there for you, that you know they're pointing to you. And loving you and not what you can produce. And heaven has a way of protecting you. Heaven has a way of protecting you, especially when you're a producer, especially when you bring things forth, especially when you materialize things and you're a person that knows how to go from beginning to end. My wife has a very strategic way of protecting me because I love to impart, I love to help, I love to support. But she had to pull me by my reins one day and said, Mike, you're helping people, but you're not seeing the return that you should see because they're not bought into you, they're bought into what you help them do. So people would come to me advice, and they would sit down in my office. I would write out business plans. I would walk them through starting a business. I would do all of those things. And then they would in turn go do their own thing without even saying thank you. Without even being grateful. I don't even need a shout out or anything like that. It's not that I did it for that reason. I have a plethora of information. And for people that are wired like me, we like to give. We like to give. We like to give. But in the same token, it breaks a universal principle, whether you're saved or not, when people don't return back unto you what you put out. Your bank account says you can't swipe this card anymore because you have not put enough in and you're still trying to get stuff out. You understand that when you swipe that card and go into a prayer while you looking at that cashier and you sitting there and you like, oh, you ain't you know, you got $10 in there and you're trying to spend mine, rightfully yours. But sooner or later, when you continue to swipe and put a demand on withdrawals, you're going to come up short. And that's exactly what has happened in all of your lives at some time or another. People have put a demand on you without deposits, and you keep coming up short. So you're contributing from NSF. You're contributing from the red. You're contributing from being empty. You're contributing from hurting and going through changes. And that thing muscles up in the back of your mind. What about me? When it's my time, Lord. And it's not that God has withheld His hand. And it's not that God is withholding anything from you. It's that you have expended yourself too far for people that you don't have the capacity to give back unto you. Some of you under the sound of my voice right now need a season just to be poured into. You don't need to preach. You don't need to sing. You look, what you just came out of was devastating. You barely made it out looking as good as you look. Barely made it out. Look, you can still smile. You can still lift your head up. You can still walk around. You still got some strength and some confidence for a hope and a future that God has given you. And listen, if we just talked about 3 months ago, we ain't got to go really back into 2016. Let's talk about January. You slid. I mean, just by the hair of your chin into 2017. It ain't like you had everything all mapped out and you had your business plan and your resolution resolution straight. No, you just stumbled on over into a new year. But God's going to give you back the months, the weeks, and the years that was taken away from you from people who did not honor what you brought to the table. You need a season just to be poured back into. You need a season to be built up. You need a season to be established. You don't need to preach, you don't need to do none of this stuff. You need a season that somebody loves you for you and not what you do, not what you bring to the table, not what you offer. We thank God for your resume. We thank God for what your degree is in. We thank God for all that you can do. But you need to be healed, son. You need to be healed, daughter. And you need somebody that's going to love you for you, that's not going to take away from you any longer. Used to that. So the first thing that we do when we come in contact with it is we're concerned. What do you want? What's your agenda? Who sent you? Y'all live out in means, y'all don't get in trouble. I don't even read the word, y'all live out in means, man. And that's delaying and wasting time in your life for somebody to really get a handle on what you're dealing with. Because you'll be the person that will patiently wait at the door of your destiny.
Wow.
Hold it open for you until you go through your speculation, until you go through your fears, and until you go through all of that, until you flip your feet over and over and over again, and you keep flipping until you realize that this thing is for me. This has my name on it. This is what I prayed for. It's funny that we can pray for a thing. Ask God for a thing. Say, God, do this for me, do this for me. And then when He presents it, we don't have a money problem at that point. We have a recognition problem. You can be so tattered and torn because of warfare. I mean, you literally have PTSD. You can be going through all of these different things. And then when you come up out of that and the smoke begins to settle in your life, you don't even recognize that God still gave you the desire of your heart. You can frustrate your health if you're not careful. I mean, psychologically, coming out of certain levels of warfare, even biblically, they told the soldiers and the military people that you have to sit outside of the camp for like 7 days just to get your mind right. Because we don't think, no, the stuff you're dealing with is not warfare. I don't know what you think it is, but it's not warfare. The stuff we dealing with, people don't like us, they unfriended us, I'm going through spiritual warfare. Honey, that's not spiritual warfare. God will give assignments to soul out, born in, sons and daughters of God, to go into a city, kill everything, the dog, the cat, the canary, kill grandmama and them, kill big, everybody dies. That was your assignment. And you could negotiate back with heaven, like, what, today is not a good day. I'm not feeling too good today. You had to fulfill the orders that were passed down to you. That's a level of warfare where your instructions is to kill up your opponent. That's real warfare. Instructions and your obedience to it creates warfare. There's going to be certain things that come down the pipeline that you ain't going to feel like doing. Because we leverage everything off of our emotions and feelings. It has to go through that filter before we decide. It wasn't up for Mary to, based on how, she felt about the situation when the angel came. Had nothing to do with her feelings. Her answer was yes, be it unto me.
Yes.
And we got to process stuff. We got to go through fake prayer partners. We got to get confirmation. They don't pray, but you trust. Look, we got a whole plethora of people that we just use when we want certain answers.
Jesus.
Susie, she barely said it. So if you want a really street type of answer, a little hood answer, you go to Susie because you really don't want to do it yourself, but you ain't got enough backbone to sit there and say no. So you go to Susie, and Susie be like, man, you ain't doing that church stuff. You crazy. I knew it. You always right, Susie. I knew it. That's why I always come to you. You go to Susie because that's your idol. And you're in witchcraft. I know you won't say that. I said you're in idolatry. You are in idolatry. Because at the end of the day, if you can't fulfill the instructions that God gives you, whether you feel like doing it or not, you are in idolatry. And anybody, listen to me, any advice that you take from somebody, you take on their lifestyle. So when you start taking advice from broke people, you take on their lifestyle. You start taking advice from scary people, you take on their lifestyle. You this right now? Why am I feeling this type of way? Because you're being fed by a person who ain't connected to God. One of the greatest things that you're going to be able to learn in 2017 is the art of saying
Bye.
Scripture tells us that, listen, get in. Looking real good right now, talking to town. Posted you up over there over the north side. Everybody know about you. Doing some big stuff. Looking real good, y'all. The next best thing. Y'all have me a lot of prophecies about you, a lot of prayers coming up about you. But there's too many fans. And I dare not release unto you certain levels of victory, because who you connected to will try to take your glory. The reason why certain levels of delay is in your life is not because you've done anything wrong. It's just who you connected to.
My God.
Come on. Exactly. And your heart is right.
Yes.
But your ears won't go heart ain't right.
Hey.
I went through changes a week ago. Just about a week ago. I'm sitting at home and I pride myself off of building. I'm a builder by nature. So I love to build people. I love to build businesses. I love to build church. I like the ingredients and different variables that make things go up and down and move and swell and contract. I just love it. I looked at my Periscope. I worked hard for my followers on Periscope, man. 5,100 followers on Periscope. I love those people. They supported me and gave me hearts. I woke up one morning and I looked, I had 4,600. And it was like 4,666. I thought the devil is in this. The devil stole my followers. I'm tripping. I'm like, what is really going on? So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at them like, me, I'm going to be very vocal about mine. A lot of people don't talk about it. I went too personal. I'm like, look, have any of y'all lost followers today? I lost 500 followers. I'm really trying to figure out what's going on. And, people was like, oh my God, I lost 1,000. Oh my God, I lost 100. So I'm prophesying like, well, the devil is busy, y'all. We're going back and forth. So I realized, I said, well, you know what, guys? I used to have 500 trolls.
Well, come on.
And I lost 500 followers.
Come on.
But for the split second that I hadn't evaluated the situation and knew what the result was, I was grieved. I was grieved because my numbers dropped. And when my numbers dropped, the first thing I looked at is, did I do something wrong? Was there something I said? I didn't support Donald Trump. What was it? Why would people just disown me? I was going through grief, and you might not say it, but you go look for friends on Facebook and see that they unfriended you, and you feel the same type of way. It's a psychological connection that you have because of social media. And I try to sit there and figure out, did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Had I not been scoping enough? Why did my followers leave? Somebody posted and said, Apostle, I didn't say this. He said, these trolls ain't loyal. These trolls ain't loyal. You didn't lose followers. You lost trolls. I began to think into it and I said, you know what? You're exactly right. These are the same people that as I'm trying to share content with my audience, they're throwing kissy faces and emojis with the heart eyes. They're saying stuff in different languages. And listen to me, I would persist and continue to do it without blocking them. I had conformed to a place of, oh y'all, that's just a troll. Don't y'all worry about them. God said this and God said that. And they would be belligerent, they would be disrespectful. If you're not on personal, you're not going to know what I'm talking about. But they would jump on there and say, you look cute, are you married? And my wife will lean over. She don't play whether it's cyber, in person, she will wind you up.
Yes. Woohoo!
You need to block them. You need to So when I realized that God was cutting away the call, cutting away the fatty part
Yes.
and getting it down to true people who wanted your content, I was able to humble myself and say, you know what? Heartbeats expand and contract. It's going to get big, it's going to get small. We want to be the next best thing. We want to be the fastest growing thing. We want church to look a certain type of way so people can see and think that this is God's blessing. This must be God doing something. You can do a lot of things to make things grow, and God is nowhere involved. If it's going to take place in your life, before you grow, He's going to have to contract you and bring you to a small place. Going to be a whole plethora of people that's going to buy into a vision that they ain't going to get paid for. They might not get a clergy collar or some type of certificate. It's just a special, peculiar type of people that will see people fall to the wayside and still step up and say, here I am, I will go. And they see other people fall to the wayside and they step up and say, here I am, I ain't going away. There's a level of commitment that's coming down the pipeline from heaven that you won't be moved by the waves of doctrine. You won't be moved by what you see on social media. A graphic designer will make you decide whether you're going to serve God or not. You won't need none of that frivolous stuff. You won't need what looks good to man. But you've got a connection with heaven because of your prayer life. Because you read the word for yourself. To know that God, I need something better than what I had before. Thank you for the appetizers. I can wait on dessert, but I need the main course. I need something that's going to stick to my ribs and push back devils off of my life. I don't want to be a part of the next best thing. If you ain't there, God, send me wherever you want me to go so that I can grow and be who you called me to be. No fear, no doubt, no reluctancy will hold me back. I'm ready to go all in. Scripture says, Lord says, the people that are with thee are too many for me to turn this level of victory over to you. Because they're going to get pompous and they're going to get arrogant. They're going to get real prideful. So if I turn the victory over too soon, if I turn the city over to you too soon, if I open up and let people see about you too soon, you might get pompous. You might get arrogant. And you're going to have an inner fortitude that when the eyes of your friends and your enemy comes to you. Because when the enemy eyes are fixed on you, you are a bullseye. And you got to have enough relationship with God that you don't retaliate. See, when God begins to fight your battles, it ain't about you getting the last word. It ain't about what you got to say. Sometimes you're going to have to hold your peace and let the Lord fight your battles. This is why we need more prophetic people in the body of Christ right now. God didn't speak to the people. He didn't speak to the band. He didn't speak to the army. He spoke to his son. And his son was a prophet. And he was able to give word to his son. And the word that he gave to his son wasn't for his enemy. It was for his team. Y'all don't have to get right. Because some of y'all ain't right. And if you're scared, if you ain't got no backbone, if you're buckling at the knees under pressure, get ye thee behind me. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. Because the level of victory that God's about to bring to this house, I need people that's born in for some good warfare. That know how to go through and take the liquor and keep on drinking. I need people that ain't scared. I need people that have a language. I need people that have a fight game. I know you were saved and you used to fight all the time. You don't got to say. I mean, when you was not saved, you used to fight all the time. And it's your saved to sit on there like you ain't never fight before. You pulled out the Vaseline. You took the everything's off. Don't come to Christ and get soft. Simple request. Not if y'all prophesy or not if you speak Greek or Hebrew or not if you went to school or not. If you scared, go home.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Just if you're scared. If you're concerned about your own life, go home.
Yes.
See, I'm not going to be the nice guy for you. You're going to have some pressure leaving here this Sunday morning.
Yes.
Because this is a prophetic house.
Yes.
So if I got tried first, you're going to be tried next.
Yes.
And all this week, God's going to bring out all the scary people in your life.
Hey.
I knew you won't go like me.
Hey.
Because some of them got your last name. Some of them in your cell phone right now. Some of them follow you on social media. Some of them all in your inbox and your DM. And they scary. They don't like you. They're fearful of what God is about to Because if you get born into a place like this, your language begins to change. Your movement begins to change. Man, I thought you was doing this, and I thought you was over here. Listen, you sound scared. I'm over here because I'm about my Father's business. Fear has a way of matriculating through words. And we use it in such a way as artillery against forward progress. I don't know about that. That don't look good. Maybe you should think about it. I already thought about it. And as I look back over my life, I have nothing to lose. You can give me anything because you don't have the capacity to deposit. But you want me to keep looking over the same information. There ain't nothing here to look over, son. There ain't nothing to look over, daughter. I need a change. I'm dying. Come on, somebody. We don't need to pray, so I need to be saved. I need to be rescued. My spirit man is literally dry. And all y'all want to do is sing a song after offering and give a doxology and a hymn of preparation. I need something that's going to gravitate me to the place of destiny that God has on my life. And if you don't have a language for that, you're speaking in fear. He said, remove the scary people from your life. Because what will take place is this. That if I pass over victory too soon, as much as they try to talk you out of it, as soon as you lift your hands in victory, it will say it was because of me.
My God.
You know, I made that hookup for them. They got that job because of me. You know, it was just, you know, I gave them that outfit. That's why he was able to land the deal the way that he did. He didn't know that till I came into his life. See, you need people that's able to celebrate you and get nothing from it. People that says, I want double for you than what I got. And I ain't intimidated. Because if my name ain't on it, I'm stealing. If I'm taking it, it don't belong to me. I'm a thief. I want you to have what's rightfully yours. Because for all the years that I sacrificed, all the times I had to cry myself to sleep, all of the struggle, all of the pain, when my boat comes in, I got space for you and everybody connected to your last name. I ain't intimidated by you getting yours first, because that's just a test to see how I'm going to respond. But what God has for me, it is for me. Listen, he says, open time in the ears. So whoever's fearful and afraid, please go home. Please leave. We migrated down to 10,000 people. He said, this is what I want you to do. Take these 10,000 because it's still too many. I know you read books. Your favorite pastor talks about church growth. You got the blogs and you connected to everybody's program. But scripturally, before we can have victory, we need to decrease you. I know it's a slogan, less of me and all of you. But it's different when heaven makes it applicable to your life. And he begins to deal with your pride and your flesh and your fears. It's good to say when we got a little preaching sermon, you know, God, remove me, hide me behind the cross. Watch out what you say. Because that little thing that you're saying, you're using it as a cliche. You understand? You start talking about hiding behind the cross. He begins to deal with you. Judas begins to show up. Peter begins to cuss. All your followers begin to leave. Don't keep talking about hide me behind the cross. The cross is a lonely place. There won't nobody celebrate at the cross. There won't no dancing at the cross. The cross was the place where he said, Father, forgive them, because they don't have a clue what they're doing. Why have you even forsaken me? I mean, the cross is a confusing place. You need to learn to balance out when you start to ask God for things that you ain't ready for. Still too many. No, 10,000 is mega ministry in some people's size. I don't care about that. I'm going to give you victory. And can't nobody get the glory for it but me. So I need you to take these people down to the water. I want you to have them to drink. What I want you to do, I want you to take them down there. And when they begin to drink, I want you to monitor them. Monitor how they consume. Monitor how they bring things in. Monitor, you can tell a lot through body language. I know words have a weight, but you can tell a lot through a person's body language. And we ain't even picked the fight yet. God has already told us. On the north side is where we've posted up yet. Everything is good. He set the scary people on. But now we in a place where still there's some people that's connected to us that are like really not supposed to be here. So he says, take them down to the brook, have them a drink. He said, I want you to separate them. Everybody that dips their head down into the water, put them over here. And everybody else that laps up the water in their hand and they drink, you separate them over here. Here's the tricky part. Because we've been standing out here waiting for the fight. We've been standing out here waiting for battle. So, we kind of thirsty. But here's the intricate part that I haven't paid attention to. When they went down there, the people that dumped their head in the water to drink was only consumed about themselves. They was only worried about themselves. Why? Because we are in a fight, right? We are in warfare, right? Let me go back to the beginning of my sermon. We define warfare wrong. And when things take a little bit longer than expected, our guards come down. We become vulnerable. And God needs you to be as focused while you're waiting for things to happen, as dedicated while you're waiting for things to happen, as bought in while you're waiting for things to happen, than you are when they happen. No shade, but people will make some erratic changes, move, relocate, because they don't have patience to wait. They'll get to a place where they find themselves in numbers, and they find themselves in doing things, but they're not a part of the call to get victory.
My God.
Every house, there's a core group of people that are pillars. For every business, there's a core group of people that are pillars. And what happens is all of the fanfare comes, but the celebration comes to the pillars.
Yes.
People that held you down and held you up in between process.
Amen.
So he says, for everybody who lowers their head and bows, push them over there. But for everybody else that stays focused in the middle of the warfare.
Yes, my God.
With their eyes on their enemy.
Jesus.
They still drinking.
Jesus.
Still consuming.
Yes.
I'ma still protect my leader.
Hallelujah.
I'ma still protect my team.
Thank you, God.
I'ma make sure this enemy don't come when I'm vulnerable.
Yes.
I'm on unemployment right now, but I'm still focused. I ain't got no ties that I can pay. I'm unemployed, but I'm still focused. I lost my house, I lost my car, I lost my job, but Lord knows I'm not going to lose my focus. I won't be content. I won't be distracted this time. God, you promised me something that I ain't seen yet. So even while I drink, I will stay focused. You won't touch my team. You won't touch my members. You won't touch my family. But even as I drink, I'm praying. Even as I drink, I'm watching. Even as I drink, I'm looking. Because I know God has promised me something that I have not seen yet. So I won't consume myself to get out of it when I can get. But God, I'm focused on you. I'm focused on what's ahead. I ain't worried about the people that left. I'm only worried about the people that are born in.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, God. Hallelujah. Thank you,
The
Lord.
people that pick up the water from their hands, they drink with their hands. These are the people that you're going to be able to build with. The reason why you're going to be able to build with them because they stayed focused. They made it through the process. They were one of the 22,000. They were one of the 10,000. They made it all the way down to 300. Now I'm going to give you victory. Because I reduced you down to the lowest common denominator. I separated you from those that were scary and self-consuming. I separated you from those that were selfish. They're trying to leverage their agenda off of your platform. I separated yourself from people who were just using you because of who you was connected to. I separated yourself from people who didn't like you, didn't love you, weren't born into what you were building. They just wanted to be a part of something because of their insecurities. And I've given you a people who are focused. above anything else. This year, God's going to deal with your focus.
Yes.
Being able to recognize who's for you and who's against you. Some of you have been having like these dreams over and over again. The same type of dream because he's sharpening your focus. Sharpening what you've been fixing your eyes on. Here comes the hour for every last one of you. Everybody under the sound of my voice. That God's going to bring you to a place of a brook. And this place that you're at, we know the prophet came down to a brook. It's when the ravens and they used to bring him food, and the brook had water flowing, and the brook began to dry up. And every last one of you under the sound of my voice is in a spiritual brook. And God is measuring you how you respond to your own emptiness. He's measuring you how you respond to your thirst and your appetite.
Amen.
Because it's only until that thing manifests that we can see if you're for us or if you're against us. It's not about fanfare, buildings, sizes of church. It ain't got nothing to do with that, because God will strip you down and make you smaller before he makes you bigger. That's not an outgrowth plan, because we want to say, do this and do that and add this and do this, do a billboard, do that. That stuff is great. And then you show up, you got thousands of scary people and no sons and no daughters. And as soon as warfare comes, all of y'all run. You come into a house in your life, but you're going to have somebody that's going to fight with you.
Yes.
And not against you.
Amen.
It's going to stand with you and not retreat. There is no retreat in the kingdom.
Amen.
We don't back up. We don't run. The level of commitment that's going to be required from you is going to cause you to stay focused. Say, I'm born here.
I'm bought in.
Lift your hands all over this room. Lift your hands all over this place. Every hand lifted all over this room. And as your hands are lifted today, to one word, just one prayer. God, keep me focused. Keep me focused. I ain't worried about who's left. I'm not worried about who's not here. Father, I need a focus. While you processing me, while you taking me through, while you removing people, while separation is taking place. God, keep me focused. Keep me bought in. Keep me dedicated. Come on, lift your hands. Father, I release, pronounce, and proclaim a blessing over these people. She will keep them focused like never before. But Father, even as the process of elimination begins to hit their life, that grief won't cause them to retreat. Fear won't cause them to go back. But they will begin to advance closer to you. Even now, Lord God, you've been knocking at the hearts of your people. Jesus. You've been putting a demand on change and transition. Father, let that transition happen. Let it happen in such a way they will begin to answer the call upon their life.
Yes, Lord.
And without fear, doubt, reluctancy, or hesitation, open up the floodgates for them. Yes, Father, I pour over these people this morning encouragement and empowerment. Father, I pour into their life wisdom. Father, I give unto them, Lord God, what you've given to us. And even the process that you took us through. And I pray, Lord God, that you make their process shorter. That their margin of error be smaller. That, Father, that even as they go forth, they can have double of what's on my life, double what's on my family's life. That you will make them the head and not the tail, the lender and not the borrower. I pray right now against jealousy and envious right now. And I ask, Lord God, that you reveal those who mean us no good. And we can separate ourselves and come closer to you. I pray this blessing over their life. The power of Jesus the Christ. Then I pray that the church say amen and amen. Come on, celebrate the Lord by clapping of your hands. Come on, celebrate the Lord by clapping of your hands. I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm committed. God, if you tell me to go, I'll go. If you tell me to stay focused, I'll stay focused. If you need prayer, I want you to come to the altar real quickly. prayer this morning, I want you to come to the altar.